Day 4, no food. If I survive this and I'm able to go back trucking, I uh, I promise I'll never contact my family again. Anybody in my family. That's my promise, and for anything ever. Um, um, let's see what else. Um, I also promise to myself that I will save money and I will save money and get an emergency fund. So that's one thing about Dave Ramsey that makes sense. Most of Dave Ramsey's advice, especially around financing things and credit, I, me and all any other sophisticated financial guru. I'm not a guru, but me, any other, like ask anybody who's financially literate, especially at the higher end, and they tell you Dave Ramsey is nonsense. Dave Ramsey is advice for poor people by an arrogant narcissist. Dave Ramsey's a narcissist, guys. But meaning like a pathological, he just likes to hear himself talk. I don't like to hear myself talk. I don't like my voice, but so high pitched right now because my testosterone's low. But I'm itchy. This room is killing me. This situation is killing me, and so my promise to my family is I will never contact anybody in my family ever again for anything. Once I am self-sufficient trucking, self-sufficient in a sustainable way, and I've achieved that twice. I've achieved that twice, where I was making enough money to keep driving let me explain. I just wasn't tracking my expenses, but I lived in a truck for 3 years. I lived out of trucks and hotels for 3.5 years, and I got burnt out. And then and I was broke at the end of all that. It was just very expensive eating Subway, and it was just very expensive living in a truck. But I wasn't paying attention to how much things cost. I didn't have a budget, and I didn't go into debt. I just spent everything I made. Um, and maybe I did go into debt like a little bit. Like over the course of 3.5 years, I went into debt maybe $5,000. Yeah. So, 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 how much is that per year that I went into debt? I went into debt. I don't even think I started trucking with zero net worth though. Like I started trucking with debt, and I'm not even talking about student loans either. So anyway, my financial situation is so damn complicated. But basically, I've always spent everything I make and then a little bit extra, my whole damn life. And except for there was times where I was carefully budgeting and tracking my expenses. Um, oh, you know what? Okay, I just realized the situation. I must have paid tens of thousands of dollars over the last 10 years. Ten, ten, more than $10,000, more than $1,000 per year. Uh, Way more. I probably paid like $30,000 in interest, to credit card interest. Um, like $30,000, yeah, and like $10,000 in medical insurance premiums that I couldn't use, or more than that. So I just wasn't tracking expenses. For the last 10 years, I just wasn't tracking money at all because I'm the kind of guy who has a home office and does a budget in an Excel spreadsheet and then saves receipts and adds everything up at the end of the month and sees where the money is going in very granular detail. That's how I learned how to live. And then I had to lose my income. No. Then my income got unreliable, and I never had any savings. So there is one piece of advice that Dave Ramsey could have changed my life if I internalized it, and I never did. Is just have an emergency fund. Don't go into credit cards for emergencies. And always keep that emergency fund, because I would build savings and then I would wipe it out, and then I just wouldn't replenish it. And I never had this anxiety around my savings being too low because I was so used to not having a savings. And I remember talking to other people, and they noticing like I dated somebody who was like really frugal, like pathological frugality, and she would like be anxious over not having any money in her bank account when she didn't have any immediate need for money. Like all her material needs were met. She was just anxious at not having money. And I realized what that is she was programmed to have this need to have something put away for an emergency. And I'm like a perpetual optimist. That's why I keep re-traumatizing myself. Showing up, going to my family home in an emergency when I know they're just gonna do something horrible to me because they're sadists and psychopaths. But I'm like a perpetual optimist, and I believe in people. I think people can change and be better, you know. And some people can't. They're actually psychopaths. They're actually criminals. Actually bad people, like my father, my mother, my brother, and you know, a lot of these. So I'm always it's this perpetual optimism. So it's basically maladaptive. It's a maladaptive thing because this type of optimism that I have is the same exact type of optimism that turns someone into an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, a successful speculative investor, those sorts of things. But it's maladaptive in certain scenarios when you're dealing with pathological people. So I figured out the kind of environment that works for me. It's like tech startup world, you know, probably like the investing world. We'll see. But I need to get away from my narcissist father. I mean, so this is 4 days no food. I'm being tortured here. And I want to put on video just to document that if I do get supported to get the financing or the capital or the access to credit to equip myself to get functional enough in the hotel and rehabilitated enough to go back on a truck, I promise I'll never contact my family for anything ever again. And I'm making this video for me to remind myself. So like I want to pin this video at the top of the channel here. There's no pin function, I don't think, but don't go back to these people. They're no good for you. They don't want the best for you. They want you to die. So I'm really hoping I don't die. So I feel like I have cancer. I need to get on I'm gonna get on ivermectin and this other chemical. I just feel terrible. You know, everybody has cancer cells in their body. It's just your immune system cleans it up typically. So, but I mean, I look like I have cancer. Look how white I am. That's over 2 years of very limited sun, or over a year of almost no sun exposure. So, it's unhealthy. No vitamin D. I'm not supplementing. I have no supplements. So, and I'm starving and I'm being tortured. Notice when I starve like this, though, I become less inflamed. My face looks like I'm thinner. Looks like I have less fat in my face. Like you almost can't tell if I'm obese. Do you see that? So it's just inflammation from the food I'm eating. But if I eat carnivore, then I'll always look like this. I'll actually look really healthy. If I eat, I don't like the term carnivore. It sounds like weird. If I eat a natural human diet, a paleo diet, I guess. Paleo, I think paleo lets you eat like certain weird things that I don't think people should be eating. But I mean, I don't care what you eat. Eat what you want. I mean, just people that want to be healthy, people that want to be optimally healthy. But yeah, so I do need to get back on a truck, and I'm begging my father. Like, I actually look good right here. Look at that. You can't even tell I'm sick and fat. Look, I actually look kind of good there. Should I keep the beard? The problem is I can't keep a beard because I have to wear a face mask, and the beard gets between the seal. It gets in the way of the seal. But it actually looks really good like this. But my eyebrows are flaking. Sorry. I don't know why that does that. I need to exfoliate. I don't have the equipment to do that. But uh, I actually look like a halfway decent, attractive guy in this at this angle. But you see the inflammation? You see these wrinkles? I never had that before gadolinium. Look at that. But yeah, so I'm just begging my family, please let me go back trucking, and I promise, uh, instead of my father looks like he's like, if you can't figure out how to go back trucking with what you have in the hotel room right now, um, I'm gonna send you to jail, and I'm giving you 2 more weeks to figure out how to make the Wi-Fi work, how to sleep properly with the equipment I have here, and get on the web and use the computer without a keyboard. I can't use laptop keyboards, guys. So my mobile office setup is going to have a actual mechanical keyboard plugged into the laptop. Everything's a learning process. I've never gotten this as far as learning how to live nomadically, mobile out of hotels like this. I've never gotten this far. All those travels I did, I basically did no computer work the whole time. I just didn't have a working computer, mobile setup. But yeah, I'm begging my family to let's do this right, get me back to trucking, and I'm really not joking. I did the math, and basically, if I have the right equipment on the truck, I only need to stop at Walmart twice a week, whereas previously I was stopping every day. I was stopping at a Walmart every day. That was my priority. Last time I was trucking, my priority was finding a Walmart that allows trucks to pull in and park. I even I'm a really good trucker, okay? I learned trucking from getting into Walmarts. I've been to the vast majority of Walmarts that allow truck parking in the country. And then a lot that don't allow truck parking. I've pulled in with an 80,000 pound big rig into a lot of Walmarts and found a place on satellite view where I could park temporarily illegally just to get in there, because it's like the only way I could eat on the truck. And I just wasn't eating the right food. I was eating food that didn't make me immediately sick, but it wasn't the right food for me. I was eating yogurt. I love this Greek yogurt. It's just pure sugar. And the bakery, there's some things at the bakery that I love, and it just gives me a sugar rush. So I was addicted to I was a sugar addict, and that's what kept me going every day. And with the inflammation and my health conditions, I can't be doing that. So I really have to, so if I just go back trucking with all the proper refrigeration and utensils and equipment to store and cook healthy food and consume healthy food on the truck, real human food, or real food that's compatible with my biology. Because I mean, maybe you're different. Maybe you're like an alien and you can process high fructose corn syrup and stuff and actually have no negative impacts. But for me, it really affects me. So yeah, so I figured out all that equipment, and yeah, it's hundreds and thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars. And but if they don't want to support me to do that, I'd rather be back. If I could go back in time, I would have talked to my manager more at the last company I was at, and I guess I would have just flat out told them I can't drive this truck anymore. I never told them that. I just told them I wanted to change trucks. I never explained that the truck was moldy and it was making me sick. Actually, I told the shop that, and they didn't do anything about it. They told me they did something about it. All they did was they sprayed an air freshener in there. I wanted them to rip the carpets out. They didn't do that. And that company was horrible. It was the worst trucking company I've ever driven for. So I found some new candidates because I can't work for any of the previous companies I drove for. So maybe you don't understand. I can't work for any of the previous companies I drove for. I don't know if Martin would take me back. I hope not, or I don't care. I hope so, but Martin might take me back. But the problem is, it's not a good company. I don't want to work for them. But the previous two trucking companies, Prime won't take me back because I owe them money, and then Swift won't take me back, and I don't know why. They won't tell me. I mean, I don't know I don't know. Like, I think I know why, but it's they wouldn't tell me. Before I went to Prime, I tried to go back to Swift, and Swift told me that I was ineligible to be rehired. It might have been because of my work experience, no recent work experience, because they did tell me check back in a year or something once I had some experience. So that was kind of weird. But it also seemed like it might have had something to do with my previous manager at Swift. There was a scandal where she was spying on me in the truck with the surveillance equipment, and it was very strange. So she was stalking me. My manager, who was older than me, but same age range, was spying on me, and because I didn't have any problems with anybody. I had many managers when I worked at Swift, and I only had problems with this one manager. Everyone else was great. And then at Martin, I had a problem with my manager. He just wouldn't let me do. He wouldn't let me change trucks. And meanwhile, I'd go to the company terminals, and there'd just be all these new trucks that no one's ever driven, just sitting there parked. And meanwhile, I'm driving this like piece of shit truck. I mean, the truck they gave me was like almost 500,000 miles, I think, or 400,000 miles. So they just, for someone with 7 years of experience trucking, why am I driving an old ass piece of shit like that? And it's because these companies, some of them, they go by seniority in the company is based on how you're treated, whereas other companies, I think it's based on your experience. So I just need to go to a better company, and yeah, but this is abuse. 4 days a week, no food. I'm gonna order ramen again. If I only get another $200 on Sunday, I'm gonna have to order ramen again, and it incapacitates me when I eat that. There is zero nutritional value. I'm full of nutrient deficiencies. I could list any essential nutrient. I'm not getting it. Magnesium, like all this stuff. I've never lived like this in my adult life since I discovered supplements. Never. So I'm in extreme pain all the time. This is just stupid and abusive. So I'm willing to borrow the money if someone's watching this and you have access to, you have good credit and you can get a loan for me, like, please help me. Like, I promise I'll pay you back, I promise. If I go back trucking properly, I know for a fact I'll make consistently $1,600 a week. Okay, I'll do whatever it takes. I can make $2,000 a week if I really want to. It's just you have to be a trainer to do that, and or a team driver, and I don't want to do that. But like, there's companies that start at like $2,500 a week as a team driver. It's just that's a living hell. It's a living hell, and you have to be an athlete, and I don't want to do that. That's for someone who has an actual home and they go home. But if you're living in the truck, you really shouldn't do that. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, so I'm just passing the time here. I can't use the computer. The Wi-Fi is down. I have all this computer work to do. I even have a lot of offline computer work to do, quite a bit actually, like 6 months worth. It's just this computer setup is not working for me. I got to get buckwheat pillows and then a different mouse and what else do I need? Oh, and an external keyboard. Yeah, those three things, and then I could use and better glasses because the glasses are so painful. I'm not gonna be able to drive until I get new glasses. Um, and that's not something I can get locally. I have to go. I have to go online. So, and that could take a few weeks. So, I can just, I think, go back trucking without like a lot of careful preparedness because we can't have any problems like last time. There's too many problems last time. Last time nothing was working the way it should for me. So, yeah, I just gotta have everything working the way that works for me. Um, like I did at Prime, and I didn't talk to my family for years. It got tough there towards the end when I leased the truck, and then I wasn't making it working enough. That was the biggest mistake. But I was forced to lease the truck. I didn't have any money to. I was forced to lease a truck at Prime because my manager didn't like me when I started training. I made a mistake and I got greedy and I decided to start training, and yeah, it paid a lot at first, but then it was more trouble than it was worth. My personality and the fact that I was living in the truck full time, and then it's just the people they brought in my truck. There's a lot of problems. I'm just not a good. I just don't have the kind of patience with trucking because I'm not passionate about trucking. I'm not passionate about trucking, so it's an injustice for me to teach trucking to others. Because if you're not passionate about something, you can't be good at teaching it. I don't think so. And also, I just don't get along with blue collar people in general. I find them very difficult to interact with. That's kind of a generalization, but I just don't share the same values and of most of the people I interacted with in the trucking industry. I find these people really irritating to interact with and to share a truck with and to work with. It's very unpleasant for me. But yeah, I should be on like a team. I should be like working on an engineering team in a NOC somewhere, a network operations center, yeah, or something like that. Just a bunch of nerds. I get along with nerds great. So yeah, I'm hoping my family will let me eat today. It's Saturday. They usually send $200. My father usually sends me $200 on Sunday. He waits till the end of the day too, so so I have to starve all day today and all day tomorrow. That's torture. So, but I guess if you and I'm also dehydrated. I can't drink the tap water here, so it tastes very bad. The whole time I was in jail, I was dehydrated too because I couldn't drink the tap water in jail. So it's very bad on the kidneys. So this is cruel and unusual punishment. So I promise to God, I promise I will not, if I do get back in a truck in the correct way, that where there's no problems, like I had at Swift, like I had at Martin initially, and like I had at Prime. If I could just do that again with another trucking company, I will build an emergency fund, and instead of reaching out to my family in emergencies, I'll just rely on myself. And hopefully there won't be any emergencies though. And I won't, even if things get dire, I promise I won't contact them ever again. And instead I'll just post video updates on here. I'll just post video updates on my situation. And I'll give them the opportunity if they want to reach out to me, but I won't reach out to them. And yeah, and long term, what I want to do, I've said this before, but my body's in such poor shape now, poor condition. If I am able to recover, and then recover from the illness, and then get the body I want, which is that of an athlete. I want the body of a swimmer or a fighter or a uh, like a martial artist, or what's it called? Just a lean, but not like a bodybuilder. I think that's weird. But like just a healthy body, healthy, lean, fit body. If I do achieve that, it will be so remarkable. It'll be so easy. It'll be so easy to do like before and after, and go get like a lot of online attention because I study marketing. So what I'll do is I'll live in the truck. I'll get healthy. Then I'll go to Thailand and live cheaply for extended periods of time, and see if I can bootstrap an online business around fitness. Build an audience, provide consulting, affiliate products, that sort of thing. And then I can manage and maintain that business while I'm doing more trucking. And then eventually maybe I can grow that business at the same time I'm saving and investing. So I can grow that health and wellness, fitness business, weight loss, all that, personal brand. I can grow that. And it's so easy to write a book now, like with AI. Like it's so easy to do this stuff now. Like with graphics, like some of the biggest hurdles for me, video editing is still a big problem, but you can hire someone for that. It's not expensive either on like Upwork. But like it used to be so expensive and time consuming to build a proper online business, a proper online brand, and then have info products associated with that brand. They used to be so time. Now it's so easy with AI. I'm sure everybody's doing it now, but I can differentiate myself, and I know how to. I think I know, I'm uniquely well suited to capitalize on this. So basically, there's like millions of dollars waiting for me potentially, and the life of my dreams waiting for me, if I can go back trucking, and then I can get my body healthy, recover completely from all these problems, and then teach others how to do that as well, and capitalize on that. So that's a win-win for everybody, and it would just be the most amazing thing. And then so I can pivot from trucking into personal training, that sort of thing, health and wellness, and then I could that would free up my time and provide the money I need to go to study computers and IT and all that. So that's my plan. There's always another job between me and my real job, my real career, but at least this one, it seems realistic. So basically the only thing standing between me and my future is the resources I need to go back trucking, to live in a hotel and go back trucking, live in hotels and go back trucking. So I'm willing to borrow whatever it costs at whatever interest rate it costs. And thanks for staying with me.